Hi everyone, welcome to your first module. So for the first topic of trigonometry, you're mostly looking at right angle triangles and you're using both SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, and tangent ratios to solve for an angle and or a side length. So what you'll notice is your mind's on will start to encompass just different ways to look at triangles and where the actual field of trigonometry comes from. And then you also have some information about Pythagorean theorem, otherwise known as sum of squares, which you probably would have done in grade 10, regardless of which stream you were in. So a lot of this will be kind of a refresh from last year before we move into non-right triangles starting tomorrow. So for your mind's on, I'm just going to walk you through kind of what this module looks like. Your mind's on, we'll go through a brief explanation just of what you're doing. What you'll notice is you have a lot of try it sections. So you're supposed to technically be doing it on the side, trying your answers. If you're someone who likes to work backwards, you can hit suggested answers and actually pull up some of those calculations in different steps. It's actually pretty user-friendly. They do give you all the answers. They kind of walk you through the steps throughout the module. Your mind's on will always be pretty short. The majority of your work comes from the action and the consolidation, which are the two most important parts. So for the first part of the action, you're mostly looking at different things regarding these right angle triangles. So like vertices. Okay, if you click these headers, it will change angles. It will tell you about labeling, how to effectively set up your triangle. And then you also have information about the sides and how you actually name a triangle. You also have a little bit, of information regarding just different shapes and how to as well just name some of those sides and angle measures. And of course, the bulk of it is focused on triangles. So if it has, if it has something that says steps, so you can just feel free to click at your own pace, which is excellent. You just click next, next, next for the next step, and it will walk you through exactly what you're learning about. There will always be some information. Why does it matter? Why is it relevant? Again, just pertaining to whatever topic that you're looking at. Okay, so a lot of the try it sections are interactive, whether you're selecting, reviewing, giving some answers. And once you kind of get through the basics, you will have maybe a couple of videos, and then you're actually going to your examples. So a lot of these examples, I'm going to have a separate video working through together. Where I start for this module is right in the calculating sides and angles. So we're going to be solving this first one and also this example 2 as well for the lengths. So that will again just be contained in a different video. You're also going to have a couple of the angle measures. So if you scroll down to calculating the size of an angle, example 1 will be done as well as example 2. Please note that I don't solve every single question, but I try to always hit the basics, especially what you'll need for the quizzes and the assignments. So that should all be contained pretty well. For the consolidation piece, so after we've worked through all the basics and the action, you are just consolidating what you already know. You're gathering information in pieces that you've already learned about. For this piece, there's usually like a challenge question or something that kind of ties everything together. It can often be a word problem. So again, a few more videos. And last but not least, just a couple of more examples. So where it says in the real world, I'll actually be solving that triangle completely, where we actually find every single angle measure and every single length as well. They do have some steps, but I think for this one, just because we're doing the entire triangle, it would be in your best interest just to, of course, follow the steps, and we can kind of talk through the process. So the answer's there, but I'll go more high into detail about how you're actually going to approach this. The last part is always a tricky part because it's usually like an extension of a word problem or, for example, this one is materials, so it's actually incorporating some costs. So it's usually like a cross-curricular example. Feel free to do that, but this is more of a challenge, I would say. If you can do the basics, i.e. what we're basically doing in the other video, that should be perfectly fine. So hopefully this helps. Again, just kind of a brief walkthrough. There won't always be a walkthrough every day because you won't necessarily have a module every day, but I think it's helpful just to kind of get you set up. Once you are at the end of the module, you're just going to follow instructions. It will often be a quiz or a small task or a discussion post. It might be a combination of items that you're required to do, but your first task will always be to work through the module if it is a new topic. Hope